The truth about why Dr. Umar hasn't returned to the Joe Budden podcast has been revealed. Yes, by the end of this video, we're going to see why Umar refuses to go back to the Joe Budden podcast, despite the last time being one of the most notable episodes of the JBP ever. So, for those of you that don't know, when Umar last appeared on the show, it was a big episode, and Ish and Umar went to war. It was clipped up, it went super viral, and it was just a really big deal. It was such a big deal that people are wondering, why hasn't he been back? And Joe Budden has went on his platform and said, Dr. Umar's coming, don't worry, only to later reveal that there's been scheduling issues on behalf of Dr. Umar. Well, due to some type of fallout with someone proclaiming to be his ex-girlfriend, Siobhan Stone, we finally got some insight into what has occurred. So Siobhan Stone, they and Umar have been engaging in some rumors and innuendo about how serious they had of a relationship. There was even some throat goat allegations, and I don't even want to really get into that, but it seems like these two were involved in some way, and there was a falling out. And Siobhan Stone would go on a YouTube channel called Storm Monroe and reveal that the reason Dr. Umar hasn't been back on the Joe Budden podcast is because Marc Lamont Hill dated one of his exes.
Well, he told me that Marc Lamont Hill used to date his baby mom. So I think now that he has something on him, he didn't want to do Joe Budden. He canceled that. He was like, because he asked me, he was like, do you think I should do Joe Budden? Marc Lamont Hill's gonna be on there, and I'm like, well, my brain thinks in 3D. I'm like, well, what would he have to gain from that? Why did they stop messing around? I'm thinking about all the factors, trying to figure out if this is, if they're gonna snake you or blindside you. And it wasn't even, I don't even think it was on that time. Then I found out Marc Lamont is married. I'm like, he ain't thinking about that. Go do the show. He still didn't do it.
And he don't want to rock with that. He don't want to be on the same episode with Marc Lamont Hill. Now, I initially thought that the reason Umar wasn't back was because of Marc Lamont Hill, but I didn't think it was because of the ex angle. I didn't even know about that. I thought it was because he just doesn't like Marc Lamont Hill and the politics he stands for and all of this stuff. Now, the thing about this is Dr. Umar and Marc Lamont Hill have also done an episode of Marc Lamont Hill's Griot TV show.
Now, dozens of allegations. No, I know. But I'm saying is, if we're
now, the Griot TV show that Marc Lamont Hill did was kind of like this news hour. It seemed like a way for Marc Lamont to have a show once he was banned from CNN. So they did that episode. So I don't know if it's likely that this is the case, but this lady, Siobhan Stone, seems to know a lot about Dr. Umar. So I believe this. I do believe that Dr. Umar probably confided in her something that was pretty harmless at the time. Sometimes, some people get close to you and you get back and forth in these text exchange, or you start to, reveal things that you think aren't that important, but then later on the line when things fall out, get used against you in some type of revealing nature. And that's what happened to Dr. Umar. Now, the reason I think that this lady is speaking the truth is because Dr. Umar is engaging with this lady. If she was really not any type of factor in his life, he would not be firing back at her. But let me know what you think in the comments. Do you think that Dr. Umar hasn't been back to the Joe Budden podcast because of the presence of Marc Lamont Hill? Now, everybody knows it would be fireworks with Marc Lamont and Dr. Umar, because it was fireworks with Ish and Dr. Umar. And Marc Lamont is way more researched than Ish. And if Dr. Umar says anything back to Marc Lamont about statistics and all of this stuff that Umar was using against Ish, Dr. Marc Lamont will be right back at him. He'll be like, oh, I don't know if those statistics are true. And he will have the cachet, the academic standing to be able to combat that. So The battle of the doctors, will it be happening in 2025? Because it makes no sense why it hasn't happened. I was on Spaces with Joe and Dr. Marc Lamont Hill, and it was like they just didn't have any real reason as to why Umar hasn't been back. And maybe the reason they don't know is because Umar is just saying, "Oh, it's scheduling issues. Oh, it's this and that. Oh, it's all of this stuff." But the underlying issue, I just don't rock with Mark. This man dated my old work. It's gonna be awkward. If I'm gonna be in studio, I want to be debating with somebody who doesn't have some type of masculine edge on me and all of that jazz. So only time will tell how this goes. We will have to see. I do hope that it does happen because this is fascinating stuff, y'all. The battle of the doctors. We will have to see what occurs. Once again, let me know if you feel like this is the case. I hear Dr. Umar interviews, like they like $10,000 virtually. And then like above that, like they could be higher if you're in person, like upwards of $20,000, maybe even close to 30, 40, 50. So if Joe has Dr. Umar on his show, it's a pretty penny. And Joe, outside of the Breakfast Club, which is the biggest platform in hip hop media, that is a big look for Dr. Umar. Granted, Dr. Umar can get tons of views everywhere he goes. So it is a bit surprising to me that Umar hasn't been back. I think the last time he was on the show was like December of 2023. It's July of 2025. So for Umar to be gone away for almost close to like 2 years, there has to be some underlining reason why it hasn't occurred. I know when I seek out interviews and somebody's always coming up with a reason as to why they can't be there, more often than not, it's that they don't want to be on the show, or there's some type of other reason that they're not making available to you because they don't want to actually just say, "I don't want to be on the show," or just say, "I have an issue with your platform." So they just assume it's best to not damage the relationship, be vague, blame things like scheduling, blame things like family issues or stuff like that. That's usually how it goes in this industry. Whenever a person is just refusing to do something and they're not being clear, they usually don't rock with what you're doing. And that's just insight from me. And I think what happened with Umar is he doesn't rock with Mark. And it could be more than just the ex. But we will have to see. We will have to confirm. Let's see if Mark has any insights. If he says it on the pod, only time will tell. Who knows? Mark is certainly, from what I understood on Spaces, he was looking forward to debating Dr. Umar. And now it's not happening. So once again, like I said many times before in this video, let me know what you think in the comments. Follow me on Instagram, The Stop TV. Follow me on Twitter, The Stop TV. Follow me on Patreon, The Stop. This is Danny from The Stop. Peace.